So the last time we talked about AEW All In, and we cut a clip up, and it did very well. Like I don't know why that particular clip went off the way it did, but that was like the announcement of the show. We were throwing out predictions, and we were pretty positive on it and everything like that. But MJDSPR was good. So throughout last week, the pre-sale begins. And it starts at 35,000, goes up each day incrementally to 40,000, 50,000, and then the last thing we heard is like 60,000 plus, like depending on who, and apparently is way over 60,000. So who knows? It could be closer to 70,000 than 60. We're already in like this territory. I would just like to. I'm not even going to take the victory lap yet. I'll wait until the final attendance. I believe that this show would sell out. And I think I started saying that around like April 5th, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a huge achievement, huge accomplishment. I think people trying to spin this as anything but that need to get their brains reevaluated. They need to find out what's wrong on the inside. They need to realize like this shit is like this has a lot of things going for it as far as like why I think they're at 60 plus before a match was announced. Like the two words all in, are a big fucking deal. Wembley Stadium, big deal. First international event, lots of fly-ins.
First stadium show.
First
international show, but also first show on that particular hemisphere is also a big deal.
Yep, UK being a hotbed for stuff like that, and this seemingly bothered a lot of people. James, what did you make of this 60,000 plus news and seeing the stuff throughout the week?
I thought that they were going to end up around 60,000 by the time they got to the day of the show. And people would have had whatever, things they would have said about whether or not that was a success. And if they had said it was anything other than a success, they would have been lying through their fucking teeth because, like, that is a WrestleMania number. But, yeah, they're already there. They're already there by the end of the first day on the actual sale. Pre-sale got them like 50. And then, extra more tickets. And then, we'll see where it gets up to. People think it's, close to 70 at this point. Like there's no way to spin this or not even spin. There's no way to be, to talk in good faith about this and say this anything other than a success. Now, if you want to say that like, hey, I hate this promotion and I wish, and I don't care about pro wrestling outside whatever I watch is success, then that's you. But like, we're not talking about you right now. Like, wait your turn when it's time to talk for the wrestling you want to talk about. If like, I don't understand why people are stealing or trying to steal joy from people, or
they can't ignore it, James.
It's just weird to me. Like, right, Rich? I'm sure you have I'm pretty sure you have a pretty strong track record of you being not into WWE of late. But but will you deny that like they're doing really fucking well right now?
I think it would be hard to come on the show and be like, things just aren't going well, business wise. Like those arenas, that WrestleMania building that just happened, that just really wasn't, the most money making WrestleMania of all time. That really wasn't a success at all,
Right. Going to these last Going into these last 4 pay-per-views, Montreal, the 2 at SoFi, and then Puerto Rico, watching these pay-per-views, be like, nah, they're not really doing well right now. And these crowds been fucking insane. Like, get the fuck out of here. You can have whatever bias you have, but like, be fair. Like, live in reality with this stuff. Like, you can have your critiques of whatever to a certain extent of you don't like them doing this, you don't like doing that. If the crowd is there and the crowd is popping for it, it's working. So you can just be like, hey, I have my hangups on this or that, but it is working with this crowd, and that's what they're giving the crowd what they want. So like for this to be it's over 60, well over 60, this far out, And there's words on what is it actually going to be on. Is it going to be pay-per-view? Is it going to be on streaming? Is it going to be some random show they give them or time slot they give them? We don't know yet. This is a success. I
got a feeling we're going to be running into some answers on that shortly. There's a lot of rumors going around with AEW right now, like that will only get stronger in the fallout of you guys hearing this. If you're listening to this on a Wednesday, Thursday, like there's billions. There's like $1 billion on the table allegedly. So we'll see what the number is, but I think there's going to be a lot of people. And originally, we're going to do the Cope segment because I had people send us the Cope, right? But I sent a Twitter thread out. Me and James were having a conversation about everything that was going on and just seeing the ways people were reacting. And I sent a thread out. I was like,
we predicted some of this stuff. It was like, hey, how long before they start talking about scalpers and shit? And the next thing you know, Dave Meltzer is like, hey, this thing only has like 1,000 scalpers. For reference, WWE has like five times whatever on some show. People didn't like that. Then I was like, hey man, like it's gonna, because it was all the stuff. It's all the same stuff you've seen. It's like, hey, when will y'all learn?
Yeah,
like for things that you're thinking of that might be a reason to knock this thing. Like, think about it. Think about it twice before you press send.
When I really just wanted to laugh at this stuff, right? But when I think about it, I'm reading the comments too. Doctor, stop.
So I was reading the comments. Okay.
But when I think about this stuff, like this shit is sad, bro. Like all this shit has been building towards this type of reaction, going back to people arguing about who was on the AEW trucks. There's just a large group of people that are being fooled by those grifter podcasts. They can't ignore it because this thing has become a passion to them, like it's a cause. Like I know we've seen people in other walks of life fall victim to believing in nonsensical things built on misinformation to rally against a perceived enemy. What does that sound like?
FTR.
Well, that's just one example. We can keep going. But that complaining that originally got practiced on New Japan back then. The safety, the no women stuff, the this isn't wrestling stuff, all that stuff like started there. But New Japan was never really like that threat here. Like the real threat got dropped off on them on their doorstep in America, and they've reacted in multiple insane ways since. Like once I started seeing the Twitter accounts get open to where they were documenting the botches in like a mean-spirited way, we were somewhere else. Like, and then like the trafficking, the misinformation about I've seen people like trying to manipulate like Ticketmaster, but not showing the whole thing, bro. It's so weird. I think they need to reevaluate what they're feeling inside. They think they're going to be replaced. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Like,
and the thing for me is just like, look, if you don't like a promotion and you wish they die, just ignore them. Like, they're not affecting you, right? Like, I don't get it, right? Like, so I don't, me and you, we one of our rare bonds between our fandom is like our love for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, because we're like, hey man, fuck the National League, right? like, you're a Red Sox fan, I'm a Yankees fan. Fuck them and having their pitcher be the ninth fucking batter. That's stupid. Like whatever.
Oh, by the way, we won on that. By the way,
right, and especially when every single year interleague play, AL fucking smashes them, and then there was a long stretch of our lifetimes where like the AL would fucking would beat them in All-Star games every single year. So it was like, yeah, man, like I mean, don't get me wrong, like I grew up on watching WGN, watching the Cubs, watching the White Sox, watching the Braves, whatever else, but like. That doesn't mean like I have some nostalgic feeling about Fred McGriff or Greg Maddux per se. I really don't. I grew up a Yankees fan, and I ended up watching a bunch of American League East. That's what it was, right? So like if you ask me about my fondness of like those '90s teams, like that's cool, but like I'd rather talk about Ichiro. I'd rather talk about Ichiro, whatever. So yeah, like I just like no disrespect to them, whatever else. You want to do your little stupid, you know, pitch hit shit, all that kind of stuff. Cool,
you know,
whatever.
Switch,
like, I'd rather watch
hit and run.
I'd rather watch not just automatic out.
Yeah. So let's get to the cope. Like I prefaced it long enough. I'm not gonna reveal the names or anything, but there's
David
a cope
Justice.
thread. There is a cope thread going on. Trot Nixon,
Kenny Lawson,
Manny Ramirez. Let's go.
Oh, so you gonna give every AL? I give NL.
Oh,
That's what you're doing.
You know.
Okay.
So our first contestant. He says AEW can't even get 800,000 in ratings for their flagship show, and we're to believe they sold 50,000 tickets in 2 days. Truth is, Tony Khan and others bought a giant dump load of tickets that they're just gonna give away. And then he said there was a gentleman that responded to him. The UK is a different breed. The numbers are legit. He said, such a different breed that WWE moved NXT UK out of there because it wasn't worth the money they were wasting. This show is only doing well because it's the first one, not because the product is so great. Man, I can smell the hurt. I can smell the pain. I can smell the tears right there to compare NXT UK to All Elite Wrestling. What are you smoking?
Look, man, this is the reason why, like, I thought that NXT got a bad rap for being put up by Vince McMahon to go out there and try to steal, you know, viewers and eyes away from AEW Dynamite. It was like, one is in front of 4,000 fans every week, the other is in a fucking LA Fitness or eSport or whatever, eSporter now. So
NXT
it's like,
UK was in front of even less.
Right, that's what I was getting at. Like, and like now you're talking about like the fucking subunit of NXT, the NXT of NXT. Like, no, these are not comparable things at all.
Contestant number 2, he says the Twitter followers: WWE 13.2 million, AEW 919,000. WWE struggles to even sell 30 to 35,000 tickets normally the first week. AEW doubles WWE. Yeah.
The is almost as if social media is not fucking real. It is not actually like a representation of real life. Jesus Christ.
So
like, think of how many times you go on Twitter in a day and you see people talk about how much Twitter sucks. Like, don't you think that people just aren't on Twitter because they don't actually like it either, and people have taken that plunge being like, I don't want to do this, or I never want to get on this thing or whatever else. So like, I don't care about these people's information or ideas or have my ideas spewed out. So like, I just watch
never
what I watch.
Log back in.
If I want to, I go to this show. If I don't, I don't. That's the end of it. And a lot of people want to go see this fucking show. That's the end of it. That's how WrestleMania works.
Look, the guy that responds to him, he said, yeah, I'm highly skeptical that fans bought all the tickets. Look at what happened in Chicago. They sold out in like 10 minutes. Then a week out from the pay-per-view, tickets were dirt cheap on the secondary market. Man.
Is that true?
I have no idea. You know, these people could be. So I got another one. Contestant number 3. It's actually a terrible look for AEW. Their product is apparently much hotter in the UK than it is in their own home country of America. It only highlights how much Tony Khan has failed to gain momentum for AEW in the USA. WBD and TBS Network would be wondering what is wrong. Yes, James, it is a terrible look to sell 60,000 plus tickets somewhere else on the map.
This is also like either a person not knowing or being ignorant to, or flat out just refusing to acknowledge, like, when they've done sign-ups for events before, there have been over 30,000 people in the wait list for these things. So that would tell you that there is a demand for a stadium show in America. They decided to do it in UK. If they ever do one here, what do you think is going to happen?
The cope. You can just
They're going to sell 50,000 tickets too.
Man, I should be doing this segment wearing some type of gas mask or something, like, you know, so the cope can just directly, I can breathe it in that they're giving off here. We got our next contestant. He said they could sell 100,000 tickets. Yes, just fuck reality, right? But if the ratings are less than 800,000 the following week and the company fails to fill arenas on a weekly basis thereafter, it means nothing. That's right, James. the biggest show in company history will absolutely mean nothing. Possibly like the biggest wrestling show of all time may possibly mean nothing, James.
Yeah, that was gonna get to it. Like one of the half dozen biggest shows or most attended shows ever means nothing. Yeah,
nothing. $7 million plus gate at the moment. Who knows what it'll get up to? Maybe double digits will mean nothing in the grand scheme of things.
And also
give that money back.
And also talking about like their ratings, and then like pointing out like, bro, they're going to have a better TV deal than the $40 million they're already making per year for this stuff. What are y'all talking about? Y'all are not living in reality. Y'all do not, either y'all don't know this stuff, or y'all are in denial, or you're just liars.
They're basically saying they can't go rack for rack.
God damn it.
Shout out to my man Sky Jordan.
Oh man, that was a good one this week.
They can't go rack for rack. Put that money in your pocket. Show that money in your pocket. That's what they saying, James. They say show that money in your pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is my favorite one. So this guy is batshit insane, by the way. He said their fans, their crackpot, cocaine-fueled jackass of an owner who has absolutely no idea what the hell he's doing a vast majority of the time. A lot of their wrestlers who live with WWE envy, and their other wrestlers who have absolutely no business being on national TV, working for a company that has absolutely no business being on national TV. I can go on. And yeah, I absolutely wholeheartedly want AEW to fail, and they're doing a good job of failing on their own anyway. I have my reasons as to why, but I listed only several. They can pack 250 million up in Wembley. It doesn't mean jack shit to me. And it doesn't mean shit in the long run. I gave them their chance. They blew it, so they can go fuck themselves. I'll just be here waiting to celebrate when they're finally out of business.
So, ultimately.
Wow.
Ultimately, he's just flat out hater. And I applaud him.
Look, at least he said it with his chest.
Yeah, it's based like the Daniel Garcia. It's based like the Daniel Garcia thing he said about Eddie Kingston. If there is one Eddie Kingston hater on earth, I am him. Like that's what he said. Good for him. I appreciate him being ridiculous and the person not worth listening to then or them. I don't know, compared to the other people that are coming up with all this other nonsense, right? Like So yeah. He's full on saying, I am not engaged in good faith. Thank you. I don't have to waste my time with this person.
Love it.
Right.
There's another gentleman that is saying he was responding to a question of how come WWE had trouble getting Wembley Stadium. This person decided to say because the cons own it.
Yeah. It's kind of easy to figure out what ownership groups own stadiums. Like it's something you can just Google. You can Google those.
Yeah, man. There's one more. This guy says, I've been trying to explain this to the AEW freaks for a while now. Fightful even streams all the AEW pay-per-views. Is anyone even really surprised? This is why I never believe any negative reports when they report regarding WWE. Now, James, this man said Fightful streams the pay-per-view. Fight TV is what he actually meant to say. He confused in his hate. He has decided that Fightful now streams the AEW shows and not Fight TV.
Are we sure that you say this is an honest mistake? Because one, fight and Fightful are two different words, and two, fight is spelt phonetically.
Brother, these people can't be reasoned with.
When was fight ever a 4-letter word?
These people can't be reasoned with. This is sad. This is unbecoming of a lot of these people, and I hope when they tune in on August 27th and they see 90,000 and they see TK going rack for rack out there, and when they see the waves upon waves upon waves of people, and they see you know, the small entrance or whatever, so that people can walk through and it looks like this phenomenal show. And you know,
they'll complain about stage production.
It's when they see it, I hope that I just hope that they can live with it. Like I just hope that they can find it like in their hearts and their souls, and they can just give up the misinformation maybe for just a day. You know, just let everybody rock with it. Go back to the hating August 28th, right? But August 27th, you know, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to compete with, James. I know the haters never sleep, right? You know, haters always working hard. They on their job, and they'll work with misinformation if they got to, right?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's gonna be a shameful summer for these people.
Yeah. But you know, whatever, man. Like, don't get me wrong. There are promotions that I you know, I don't necessarily wish for anyone's downfall, but I just ignore them. But some people just can't just be okay with like this thing in particular, media or entertainment like exists and it's not for you. Person, like as far as like what your taste for whatever, you know, whatever medium of entertainment it is, like it's not for you, and like therefore like people turn into like some type of thing to champion and be like, well, I don't like it, so it must die. And it's like that's not how that shit works. Like there's plenty of things that are popular that are successful without you, and they're going to continue to be successful without you. Like, sorry, like there's not like country music is going to continue to exist. I don't give a fuck about it, aside from like, you know, a couple handful of things. But like that's it. That's what it is. It's not for you. It's not for you. Not everything's going to be for you. And like people, especially because of Twitter, I think like people have this I guess like you know, this space to just say whatever they want to or say spout out their opinions, whatever else. But like the thing is like they want to be heard, and it's like other people that are hearing that are throwing that shit back in your face as if Anthony Davis is blocking them. So who gives a fuck? Like, know that like this is a thing that you're hung up on. This is your hang up. This is a you thing, and be okay with it. Like, you know, like I just watched Backlash, and you know that crowd was amazing. The crowd was amazing. While I'm watching, you know, Brock and Cody have that slow ass match, it's not for me. It's for them. It worked. The end. What else is there? Like, to see Bad Bunny come out, and we hear all this stuff about, you know, people talk about somebody should be pushed, someone should be pushed, or this person is or is not a star. You know what makes people a star? If the people in the building fucking go nuts for them. So when all this stuff we have about, you know, wrestlers and their looks and their aesthetic and their physique and all that kind of stuff.
Wrestling style.
And wrestling style, all the stuff that goes to promo style, all that kind of stuff, storylines. Like, Bad Bunny is not a person that fits the Vince McMahon stereotypical. When he walked through an airport, people turn their heads. Bad Bunny looked like anybody else. Bad Bunny went out there in front of dozens of thousands of people, and that crowd fucking rumbled that building. It's over. We're done. A star. The end. Like, so, you know, however many, was it $7 million is the gate now?
Yeah, it's you know,
it's gonna go up.
It's climbing.
We're at least $7 million for a gate right now. They already make $40 million off TV. That's it.
It's
success.
Over.
We're done.
It's
the
over.
Failure talk, lies.
You lost.
Bullshit.
You
Copium.
Lost. It's over.
It's over.
Someone clip that. It's a wrap. Finito.
Yeah.
So moving